p.m.
Boom, and we're live.
Damn, dude, you stole my thunder. Yeah, okay, so we're not. I guess Kevin said he'll be here in a few minutes.
Yeah, so why don't you define what a value bomb is, Alex? All of us just woke up.
I definitely clickbaited this title, but I do think it's going to be a value bomb because we're going to go through. Okay, this is a really new concept that actually this was Justin's idea, and I thought this was a good idea. So what we're going to do is we're going to put screenshots, like text interactions, up on the screen, and they were going to be like, "Yo, what's the next text you guys would send?" Then we'll pick the winner, and then we'll reveal what was actually said next. So I went through painstakingly last night. Through a whole bunch of my lay reports. I only picked lay reports, and I blurred out certain lines that I used, and then we're going to put it up on the screen. And the guys are going to have to figure out what's the optimal move next. So that's the value bomb.
Are you going to tell them what you're going to lead her to?
What do you mean?
Because I feel like texting the next line, you should understand what the North Star is you're gonna lead her to, So
yeah, I'll give them the overarching concept. Yeah, I'll do
that. There's one with no messages, and then you're like, what do I text next? And everyone just says, hey, trouble.
There's one where the girl's like, can you please leave me alone for the love of God? All right, guys, what do we say next? Nice headphones, Avery.
Thank you.
Damn, son, what a flex.
Avery, it looks like he's traveling to outer space.
Those are the Apple AirPod Max, right?
Yeah.
Oh, they are? Oh, I don't know.
Do they switch back and forth between your phone and your computer really well?
Yeah, that's why I like the AirPods. Nice.
I have these. These are the best at the price. It's like the Sony XM4. Well, I guess they have XM5 now, but
yeah, the sound quality is great, but it's just annoying dealing with all the different devices and shit.
Yeah.
And the audio quality for the speakers isn't very good.
You mean for the microphone?
Yeah, the microphone.
Yeah.
What are you guys doing for the 4th tonight?
So this guy invited me on his boat, and
oh, we're gonna be part.
He's kind of old and creepy, but I don't know. I just want to kind of go for get the content for my OnlyFans. So.
Okay, that makes sense. Austen's going to be balls deep inside this old dude tonight. Okay.
Alex, why don't you have a boat?
Because they're expensive, dude. How much money do you think I make? I mean, I make good money, but not
Alex is talking about the flake epidemic in America, yet he lives in Miami and he doesn't have a boat. Dude, if you just got a boat, all of your problems would be solved.
A boat is I don't know, a decent boat is $300,000, $400,000.
That's not that bad.
Yeah, but I don't have $300,000 to $400,000 laying around. I have I just lost 15,000 on fucking crypto. Yeah, I mean, I got some money, but not easily buy a boat money.
Dude, you just had a product launch, so. Dude, you know what the funny thing is?
Yeah, I'll make some money, man.
I talked to Casey about the boat thing. He said that in Colombia, when you invite girls on boats, they're super appreciative and they're very grateful and they're very sweet. And then in America, girls are expecting to be on a boat. So my buddy has a boat in Toronto. He'll say he's yeah, dude, half the girls that come on, they don't even thank me. They don't even really socialize with me. They just go on and take pictures on it. And then the other half are pretty nice about it. But yeah,
I can see that. Yeah.
So, dude, yeah, but the thing is, if you live life to just maximize your finances, you live like Warren Buffett, and Warren Buffett ain't getting no pussy.
You're not really living life. What's the point?
Yeah, Warren's lifestyle is pretty boring.
They say women are the most. You know what's funny? I'm gonna make a compilation video of this. It's just gonna be a 30-second thing. Vadim has this video called "Pickup is a Free Adventure." Then there's Andrew Tate going, women are the most expensive hobby in the world. And then there's this guy who picks up homeless dude who picks up girls in New York. So I want to put a compilation of those.
Who's the homeless guy?
Actually, dude, I have it on Facebook. But if you search,
oh, is it the guy that did the article about?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, an article, and there's also a YouTube video on it. They went out to him and they. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, I remember.
He looks pretty good. He like sneaks into CVS and like steals some of their gel and like does his hair every morning.
Yeah, I mean that dude. If he just applied some of his concepts to like making money, he could like not be homeless.
Yeah, he's in a better place now. I don't think he's addicted to drugs anymore. So,
Okay, that'd be cool to get him on for a podcast. Actually, now that I think about it, someone says I know the homeless guy. He's awesome. Yeah. Okay, so should we just get started, or should we wait for Kevin for the?
Are we both clicking at the same time? Okay, there you go.
yeah. For demonstrating how to drink water, my latest video needed that demo.
There's a guy who has a course how to drink water that's like $200. Really good. You should definitely get on that.
Yo, Alex, didn't you say your test is like 1,200 nanograms per deciliter?
Depends on which like blood test, but yeah, something like that.
Do you feel good at that amount?
Yeah, there's a certain amount where if I go above, I start breaking out in acne, so I avoid that. I think that's like 1,500. But yeah, as long as I stay below that, yeah, I feel fine.
And do you have trouble sleeping at that amount?
I have issues sleeping, but it's unrelated. I think it's unrelated. It actually has to do with the high blood iron content I have. So I have to do like therapeutic phlebotomies once a month, where basically they just take out a whole bunch of blood because I have like way too much iron, and that fucks with your sleep. But that's a whole different thing.
So do you have to supplement with copper, or do you eat like more plants to get more copper?
In theory, I'm not supposed to eat like a lot of meat. I mean, I still do, but yeah, I do take copper. I definitely can't take like iron, but yeah.
Oh. So have you just been going down on your girlfriend while she's on the rag, or what?
No, with my neck, I can't really eat pussy.
Oh man.
Yeah.
Sorry to hear that.
Yeah. But yeah,
she has to be standing up on the sofa.
Dude, even then, if you think about it, because of the ankle, you'll still have to like tilt your neck like upwards a little bit.
Damn, dude. Missing out on one of life's small pleasures.
I guess, but I've eaten so much pussy in the past. I feel like I've like been there, done that.
Dude, what if eating pussy gave you like neck cancer, and that's why you can't move your neck?
Well, I don't think I ate like disproportionately more pussy than like the average successful younger guy or whatever. I don't know. It wasn't like I was like some pussy eating connoisseur where I was just like eating pussy like for breakfast, lunch, and dinner or something, like lining it up. All right, here's my meal for the day.
That's definitely one way to get iron poisoning or whatever. All right, keep distracting. Let's get into this.
I wonder how much you could absorb though that way, just like drinking blood at that point. But yeah, okay. So let's pull up the. Let me pull this shit up. Or do you think we should wait for Kevin for this?
I mean, the people are waiting, dude. We got 72 people.
All right.
For dude, think about it like this: for every minute that we wait, that's wasting an hour of human life because of the combined people.
Okay, so let me explain this concept one more time for anyone who's confused. So I'm gonna pull up like a screenshot like this, right? And then I'm gonna be like, "Yo, what's the best line to say next?" You guys in the chat are gonna give your suggestions. I'll put the one on the screen that I think we'll actually pick the ones that are the best, and then I'll reveal what happened after that. And all of these came from lay reports. I want to make sure of that so we know it's shit that worked. So every single one of the interactions you guys are about to see came from girls that I banged. Okay, so let me zoom in a little bit more. Okay, so yeah, so this is the first one. So I'm talking to this chick. This is on Hinge. So she's like, and COVID really threw a wrench in the dating game. Now it's all about indoor activities. I'm like, I'm sure our love will find a way though. And she says to be determined, right? So it's a little bit of a shit test. So what would you guys recommend to say next? Let's see in the chat. And no trolling, please. Like, no, I know a lot of guys are already like, I hate trouble, blah blah blah. But like, let's actually do real answers.
First answer was hate trouble. So
I know.
There we go.
Oh my god, that's fun. Oh man, I'm dead.
All right, guys.
Okay, we got if you're into that sort of thing. Not terrible, but probably not what I would say. We got someone said, "Let's find out."
Because
No,
to be determined from that 8-ball thing, the magic 8-ball that you shake, right?
I thought it was just her being kind of like mysterious or whatever, or just like playing hard to get.
Yeah, that's. Hold on, let me double check this.
Okay, so let me throw some of these on the screen. Let's find out. Yeah, I probably wouldn't say that because I think that's like a little too strong. Determined by who? That's actually not bad. I'm very determined. That's okay. Yeah, that's not bad. Okay, we should determine it over a glass of wine in my place. Now, I wouldn't escalate on that. I don't
That's
really
two-
recommend escalating
two-
on shit test.
or-
Why don't we just meet and spread COVID?
There we go.
You looking for some unvaxxed semen?
What would you guys recommend?
So I would so it says to be determined. That's like a magic 8-ball line. So I would say, oh, that's funny because I just shook my magic 8-ball and it said that we'd be hanging out this week, like something like that. That tease back.
I mean, ideally, if there's like a GIF of it, but I mean, you wouldn't push forward here, right? That's what everyone's in the chat's doing, is trying to be aggressive, but she's kind of pulling back. So you don't want to be asking for more compliance when she's kind of taking compliance away.
Someone nailed it. That's exactly what I said next. Wait,
Maybe it's her.
Oh.
There we go.
Oh, dude, someone read this then.
Maybe, yeah, it's possible. They didn't include the winky face, so maybe not. So yeah, you hit it with like a takeaway, so coy. It's like a playful like takeaway. Maybe I am trouble after all, right? And then things get back on track. All these LRs you can find on our forums, by the way. These are all like freely available. I pulled this all from like public records. Okay, let's go to the next one. Okay. So I'm like, I asked her if she wanted like swan. She says yes. I say we can split a bottle on our romantic balcony, and she doesn't respond. Right. So what's the follow up text that you can send in the situation?
Got some modern art going on here.
Alex, you need to learn how to use Photoshop. Dude. You can just take a smudge tool and smudge everything, and then have two versions.
No, he's Picasso.
Yeah, this is a modern art painting.
Big fan, lol. Of you? Like she knows your channel, or that's from something previous?
Wait, what?
She said big fan.
What do you mean?
It says big fan, lol.
Where does it say big fan?
On the top of the
top of the screen.
Oh, okay. I was like, do you like wine? She's like, big fan. Well, yeah.
Oh, okay.
Someone said Alex is technologically challenged. Lol. Yeah, it's very true. Okay, let's take a look.
This would just be any kind of time bridge, or sorry, any kind of silent lead follow up.
Yeah, this would be okay. Don't think too hard now. Yeah. That would work. No, I would not do that.
Yeah, it's completely random.
Not a drinker, I see. No.
I think it's a little too negative.
I like this one. Answer me, woman. But no. Although that would be funny.
No, dude, you send two of these in a row. Please respond.
This would work probably.
I actually opened a girl at the club with "Please respond" last night. One of my friends challenged me to it, and she's like, "Respond to what?" And I just kept saying "Please respond" a few times, and did get her number, so it works. Works in real life.
What would you guys say next?
I have so many of these. Do you want me to go into them?
We'll just give some suggestions.
Okay, wait. The fuck? Feel free to chime in, wink.
Yeah.
I think you forgot to press send.
Yep.
Don't think too hard. I also love this one. If you're playing hard to get, it's working.
Yeah.
And then the ironic please respond sent like 3 times.
What about you, Avery? Yeah, all those would work.
I think those are good.
Okay, let's take a look at what I said next. I did this really late last night, so I don't even remember what I said until I pull it up. If that's cool. Okay, yeah, so a takeaway.
Yeah, also I think this is a really big key with this is that you continue the conversation without like getting butthurt, right?
Yeah.
So it's just like you're just continuing as if you're assuming like she just didn't read it, right?
Right.
She was just like, fucking watching Friends or something.
Right.
Forgot to respond.
Okay, well, let's move on to the next one. 4, okay. 5. Okay, let me zoom in on this. My wonderful painting. Okay, so here trying to confirm the Warriors still good for tonight. I'm not sure I won't be able to make it tonight. Got caught up at work, but how's tomorrow for you? Yeah, tomorrow evening works. Then next day, yo, sexy. Then she doesn't respond, right? So this is a triple text. Now, what would you send her as a triple text if she hasn't responded to 2 of your texts?
Yeah. Okay, I'll wait till the people right there. Usually I'll go with like I can't believe you've done this. And then like you call her out and then you like yell at her and then you just get really angry and you say like, this is why women shouldn't exist. And then, yeah.
That works pretty well. Someone said, are you always this talkative? No, that could work, yeah. I would probably go with a little bit of a harsher takeaway. Yep, this guy nailed it. I guess people know my lines too well.
Yeah.
No, I would not do that at this point because this is not the first message. This is like way down the line. So this line wouldn't make sense to be used here. Okay, let's take a look. Yep, as you can see, that guy nailed it.
One note on this is like so think about like if someone like there should be an escalation, right? So if someone like comes onto your property, the first thing you don't do is like shoot them in the face, right? You say like, what are you doing? Like, get off my property. And then like if they still refuse, then like you like say it louder, you threaten them, and then finally you just like physically remove them from your property. So this same little thing is with these kind of messages. You don't want to like start with like she doesn't reply in 10 minutes and you're like, I didn't take you for the flaky type. Right? It's just like it's like not proportionate. So yeah. Like he said before, he just said Yo Sexy just like to ping her back to respond, and she didn't. So then he escalated it to the next step.
Yeah, for sure. You definitely your response has to be appropriate for the situation. That's definitely true. Yep. I like that analogy actually. Okay, let's move on to number 7.
Yo, what's good? Sorry, I'm
What's
late.
up, KRW?
What's up, man?
That's good.
Hello.
I checked in a little bit before, so I know the gist of this. It's basically like a quiz game, right? Somebody was playing Jeopardy music. I heard that.
You joined the latter half of 420.
No.
Yeah.
Okay. There we go. Okay, next one. So, this is pretty funny text. So I sent her a picture of my dog. She's like, oh, he's very cute. Thanks. He says he's excited to meet you. Haha, I bet he said that. Yes, I hope you like it rough, like RUF. That was a good one. Alex made it funny. Then I'm excited to meet him too. Good, do you like wine? Well, to be honest, I've tasted wine like once or twice, but I've never been or have interest or drinking. So what do you do when the girl says she doesn't like wine? This is a question a lot of guys have.
You force her to drink it anyway.
Yeah. No, but like what
You're going to learn to like it. You're going to like it whether you like it or not.
Do you like wine? No. Do you like semen? Sure. Okay, cool.
I have been known to drink that.
Do you like Conor Murphy's holistic protein shakes? Let's see what people think. There's
That's how
actually
we're doing this. You look at what the chat says that they should say.
Yeah,
That's
and
fun,
then-
man. I like that. It's really interactive with the audience. It's a
Yeah,
good
yeah,
idea.
yeah. It's a cool concept.
Yeah.
What do you like to drink? Yeah, that's okay. Yeah, you could do that. We can stick to sparkling water then. The rocks, okay. I wouldn't jump to that. No problem. I also have milk and apple juice. No, probably wouldn't jump to that. There's something I might say. I'll take the wine back. Yeah, that's okay.
That's funny.
Jesus.
You can drink out of
the
my
bowl.
Husky's bowl.
Yeah.
Dude,
I
what
feel
are
like-
these fucking spam?
Yeah, I know. I'm trying
Yeah,
to like,
I just blocked them.
I'm trying to block them too. Yeah, there's so
Dude, I
many.
have so many of those in my comment section. It's crazy. It's like half the time I have to go in my comment section and just like delete half of it. Just spam. I don't know what the hell's going on.
All right, let me what would you guys say next? You can share what
I thought this one was so funny.
Yeah, that's not bad.
Yeah, that is a good one.
Yeah, like the way I think about texting, I don't really I do have lines, but there's situations like this where like I don't have like a pre-made line. So I just start thinking out loud. I'll be like, well, to be honest, I have tasted wine like once or twice, but I've never been interested to drink it. I'd say, yeah, basically you don't want to force the girl to fucking drink. And it seems weird if you like pressure her to do that. So I would just like, yeah, either offer another option and then try to make that funny. And I think this one does a good job of like, of making it funny. And you could also suggest some other activity because like drinking is like a social fun activity, but just like coming over to drink juice with you is kind of weird. So like maybe some other activity. And then I'd start punching it up and like see what the best line I could come up with is, which is probably somewhat similar to this.
I mean, something I would say, it's not anything clever, but I always use this anyway, is I just say, no worries. When are you free? Like I always like to use when are you free first, because then if they're not interested at all, then they're going to make up a whole bunch of excuses. So I don't know.
I love
for me,
Silver
usually,
Sally, so we can do X instead. Yeah.
Yeah.
Ke-
So
Kevin-
usually I don't
Kevin's
try to like
like-
make like a certain plan first and then say. I just try to have that compliance first that they even want to hang out. I'm assuming this is from online dating, right?
Yeah, yeah. Kevin's like, oh, no worries. I'm going to challenge you to debate then.
Or I just start debating her right there. I'm like, you don't like wine?
I think
What-
another
What would
angle
Nietzsche
with
have
more
said about
risky-
wine?
What is your definition of wine?
There's a good one.
Yeah, depends on what you mean by wine.
If it's like a
I think another angle you could take that would be more risky, but it could work is you say like I don't know if you talked about the trouble thing before or something. Be like, damn, so I guess I'm trouble then. I'm gonna be corrupting you into trying your first wine, something like this.
Yeah, that could work.
No, this wins the best response from Karen or
It's
Karan.
like a dick. It'll eventually grow on you.
It's like cancer, it'll grow on you.
High risk, high reward.
But it's just Chad and Chad enough.
Okay,
that, like,
Alex, we can't handle the suspense anymore. Show us the message.
All right. Let's go to
This is Alex just text game flexing on all of us.
pretty much.
So all of your responses were fucking garbage. This is what
simple.
Here's the
tequila
value
time.
bomb for today. Let's just talk about how awesome I am and how cool I am and how much
I
of a
mean, that
pimp I
does
am.
seem like a good value. bomb. And I feel like there's a lot of subject matter to be discussed there. So,
Yeah.
tequila.
Also, if we could see the pictures, we could probably get more accurate with these, right? You can tell what kind of girl. If she's like, let's say she's out drinking with her girls in one pick, I would have been more inclined to like do this.
Right. It took me like 45 minutes to fucking organize this shit. Pictures of the girls, that would take another hour. But yeah.
So what did you say? Tequila kind of girl. That's good.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's
That's what I always say when a girl says she doesn't drink wine. Okay, let's move on to the next one. We're like about.
I think we should explain why that was good. Right?
Okay.
Yeah.
Sure.
Because I think that was better than anything anybody else suggested.
The juice
I think
box.
there's
one
some
was
sort
actually-
of there's some sort of rhetorical technique or charisma technique. I forgot what it's called, but it's something along the lines of like you assume something Like if somebody denies a certain premise, you just assume something else. So you do that from a charisma standpoint. It's very effective. Do you know what that is, Avery? I have a feeling that's something that you would know what it's called.
I'm not sure the name.
I think there's like a certain term for it. You guys know what I'm talking about, right? Where it's kind of like.
Are you talking about you assume something and then they want to fall into the frame? You talking about commitment consistency bias? If you say something, they kind of want to go along with it.
Maybe, yeah. I don't know if that's what it is. So it's basically kind of like the implication there is saying, oh, well, I don't like alcohol, right? But you know that, but you just deny that frame, and you're basically like, oh, so you still like alcohol, but what about this one, right? And so it's a very playful, polarizing way to do things. So it shows off that you're smart, but also that it's also like kind of a joke at the same time, right? I don't know. There's some term for it. I don't know
what I've always called that. I don't think that's the correct term, but playfully misinterpreting the situation. That's what I've always called.
Yeah, there you go. Yeah. No, I think that's great. Very effective.
All right, cool. So let me zoom in on this one. Okay, so here you're inviting a girl over. She's like, yes, tomorrow, what time and where? My romantic balcony, say 10:30. Well, we do not know each other, so I prefer a public place. So what would you say next? This one should be easy if you're a follower of my content.
We do not know each other, so I prefer a private place. I'm kidding.
Let's see what everyone has to say. The funny thing is, half the time the girls wind up coming straight over anyway. I don't remember this one. I had to look at the name, but I think this one did. Yeah. Everyone's like, yep. Everyone's got this one. This one's too much of a giveaway because it's like too obvious. Yep. So then we go to the. What was this? This was 9 or 10. Yep. Stranger danger, of course, already lists me a red bar. Then okay, better. Where are you from? Oh no, this chick I did meet in public, but I pulled her pretty fast. Okay, let's go.
Yeah, if a girl says something like that, well, first of all, I normally don't even frame it as straight to my place because I just found that it's most girls are not comfortable with that, so that I end up just meeting them in public anyway. So I'll just meet them like close to my house. Like there's a fucking ice cream place that's really good right next to my house. So if I knew a girl was like pretty much down to come over, I would just do that because it's like a 2-minute walk to my house. So instead of like texting back and forth or like her getting a little sketch, then we just meet there and then it's a 2-minute walk.
Yeah, I just invite girls somewhere very close. I also have a public pool with like a cabana, stuff like that I can invite girls to. That's basically pooling, but it's not straight to my place, so it doesn't have that stranger danger aspect to it. I don't really see a problem with meeting in public.
So you don't get that like primal fear on the girl, which is like really key part of it.
You also don't know if she's hot, right? That's the other thing. It's like, what if it turns out she's not as hot as her pictures?
Oh,
and then she's at your place.
Well, I meet them in the lobby. I don't meet them like straight.
And then you tell them, get the fuck out of here if they're like.
Yeah, he told the story of that once, like before a stream. It's hilarious.
Yeah, I don't do that directly, but like I'll be like, oh, hey, sorry, I'm not interested. Yeah.
So really quickly, if you think Tinder games for losers, why are you here? Anyway, so there's this one book, maybe you guys have read it. It's called Never Split the Difference by Chris Voss. Really great book. So basically he's like an FBI negotiator, and that's actually a negotiation tactic he uses is when something is unclear, he repeats a question back to them to make them explain themselves. So for example, if somebody is just like, oh, I think that's a bad idea, you text back, bad idea, ? And then they have to explain it instead of you going out there and like trying to figure it out. So it's almost like you kind of did something like that with the stranger danger line, right? Very simple. And then she elaborated.
That is a really, really, that was a really, really good book that I highly recommend for everyone to read. Mm-hmm. That was like an awesome read. I love that book.
It's great.
I forgot I read that, but yeah, that was like 2 years ago.
That guy. I want to answer this question. My last few polls, so often it's just, do you smoke? And then if they smoke, that's an easy poll. Another one recently was just, have you played Connect 4? And she's like, yeah, let's play a game of Connect 4. That's simple. And then another one was, have you ever had Angry Orchard beer? It's a beer that tastes good. I'm like, it's a beer that actually even girls like. You should have some. Yeah. And then I have it in my fridge. And then they come to the place. So it doesn't have to be that complicated, honestly.
Or Cards Against Humanity. That's the
that's it.
Hayden. Hayden line.
Everyone in my mastermind group has bought Cards Against Humanity. Like I should get sponsored by them.
That's true. I've seen it in person. Or you're just like, yeah, you guys like Cards Against Humanity? They always say yes.
Yeah, and it's
I think we picked up on how Avery is actually really manipulative because technically Angry Orchard is a hard cider, not a beer. So he's tricking those girls into coming over, thinking that they're going to get a beer, but they're getting a hard cider. That's not
Game
cool,
is
dude.
manipulation.
AG Hayden
But
But you feel
exposed.
bad giving girls liquid that disrupts their endocrine system.
I mean, that's a larger issue in of itself. But yeah, so we can face. So okay, so it's cool. We can plan for another night then. We can FaceTime to make sure it's you, right? So what would you say in a situation like that?
I have to read it again. What is it?
Like, no, she has a little bit of an attitude, right? So how would you respond to that?
Yeah, where'd the music go? Who was playing that a while ago?
Austen.
Is that you, Avery? Oh, it's Austen.
Too good to be true. You're on the right track. Sorry, I have Android. No. Oh my god, dude! People know my lines like too well. Like there's like people just keep nailing it on the dot. I think that's like, yeah, people just.
I think a lot of them might have seen this already.
Yeah, although this is a very niche one. Like this is from like a old forum lay report.
Okay.
Okay.
Well, let's just say for the chat, like if you guys have seen these, either don't say anything or try to come up with something new.
Yeah, that's a good idea.
Yeah.
What would you guys say next?
I have to look at it again. Combine.
Dude, sometimes if girls have situations like this, I'll just get them on the phone. Oh, is this still on Tinder?
No, this is on text.
Yeah, dude, I'll fucking call them and then I'll just go to their place. I've done that so many times. Like girls will be like, "Oh, I'm leaving it for a flight in like X amount of hours. I'm still packing." I'll be like, "Okay," and then I just get them on the phone and I just get them in a good state, and then I'll just literally go to their place. So.
I mean, you could use that stranger danger line again.
Well, but let me see. In this
technically,
we could face.
Oh, unless that's not her objection.
Think in that message that you sent, we could plan for another night. Then I guess that made her feel like pretty comfortable because then she says we can FaceTime to make sure it's you. So she's like almost pushing for that same night, correct or not?
That's one way of interpreting it, but the way I interpret it is just her being cheeky.
I can't read the top. It says there's an open with thing. What's the word that's blocking? We can combine what?
What can you? Oh, we combine. Okay, so she.
Wait, I'll say one thing. I think so. One of the lines, if I do meet girls from online, I'll say like, yeah, that'll be So in this situation, I say that'd be perfect, so I can make sure that you're not a 300-pound Indian man in a basement, something like this. So I say that anyway, but I usually bring it up. It's like, hey, can we just do like a quick 2-minute FaceTime to see if you're or video chat to see if you're not a 300-pound man? Yeah.
Let me just show what happened next. Okay. 11, 12. We're almost through all the examples. So I just give her a little playful shit. You kids in your FaceTime, I actually never use this, but it seems like the perfect time to start. I'm still on a call. I can ring you after. Then we FaceTime. Then she winds up coming over. I think.
Wait, go down. You kids in your FaceTime. Okay. Yeah. So basically, you called her. It's like the gist.
Yeah, I gave her a little shit back, and then I eventually wound up talking to her. Basically just like matching her energy. Okay. I think. Okay, so this is going to be like a 3-part. This is going to be like a boss level interaction because there's going to be layers to it. Okay, so good thing you're going to get to meet me soon. Is it really good? Like, tell me, what's so great about you? So I think that's a shit test, right? So how would you answer this shit test?
What does it say above? I could tell.
Just I don't remember. It's just banter, but basically she's saying, "Tell me what's so great about you."
I think she says, "Haha, good to know. I was starting to get worried. I could tell. I know, right? Tell me."
All right, guys, listen on the comments. Someone says, yeah, it's a little cocky. That's okay, I guess. Yo, Kevin, was that really RSD Tyler that responded to your video? Or was that a troll?
No, that was him.
That was him.
Yeah.
I replied and I was like, yo, come on for debate.
Yeah, I saw you're just like, let's have a debate.
Well, we'll
I'd be
see.
willing to do. Like, look, I even said in the video, I don't think I like him for the most part. I don't think he's bad at all. Like, I think he's genuinely trying to help men, and he has more of a positive message in general. But he did sort of poison the well when it came to the discourse around seduction and stuff, saying that looks didn't matter a lot. I know his rebuttal was basically like, "Oh, I do say looks matter, but still, it is not enough." He still basically was always implying that, like, oh, well, if you are good enough at game, it can just overcome.
I've heard him directly say looks matters 0%.
Yeah. So it was just him denying shit
multiple times.
Yeah.
Multiple
So
times.
I don't know. I mean, in this text, I would respond with something like, "Wouldn't you like to know? ... Hey, maybe that's not the best response, but hey, that's kind of the way that I like.
If you're gonna treat this like a shit test, you could. What I'd say is like, well, not the flex, but I mean, I was on the elliptical machine for almost 12 minutes today. Like something that's like
that's pretty good. Like a troll response. Yeah, like that's not bad. It's not what I did, but that's pretty good. What about you, Avery?
Something ironic. I'd have to think about it, but yeah, something ironic.
Okay, let's take a look at the next slide. So,
my mom says I have a great personality.
Yeah, that would work. Something like trollish like that. Yes, and you mean aside from my general awesomeness, right? So I'm just fucking around.
Yes.
Okay, so but then she says, "Well, yes." Besides that, so what do you say after that? Tom. See, this is gonna be like a 3-level type of.
Qualify yourself for me.
Well, sort of. Yeah, that's what she's trying to do. So, what?
I like this guy. He just makes extreme points.
What exactly does that have to do with the text interaction?
no.
He's just
and then he was also
like
saying,
every 10 seconds.
He contradicted. Well, actually, maybe he didn't contradict himself. He also said like looks matter 0%. So I guess he was agreeing with RSD Tyler. If anybody has a clip of that, could you send that to me?
I'd have to like look it up, but I
like if you hear him saying that,
I clearly remember him saying that multiple times.
I remember him saying stuff like that too.
Okay, what would you guys say next?
I tend not to brag about this, but I do have a 3-inch penis.
That's pretty good. I tend not to brag about it.
Because then guys with little dicks feel bad about themselves.
Okay, let me just go to the next slide. It's a long list. We don't want your phone over.
Dude, who came up with this multiple screaming orgasms? What the fuck?
It's like from an old lay report. Well, yeah, that's pretty good. Look at my wittiness.
Just a girl. Oh man. God, dude, these are so small. It's a long list. We don't want your phone overheating now. Yes. Yeah, I feel like when in doubt, like cockiness just works, at least in America. Colombia, this would not do well. But in America, in the West, like, what is it called? Cocky comedy, whatever, works really well.
Yeah. And then she's like, if you don't want to think about it. So this is just like an epic frame battle. Okay, let's go to the last.
I can link you to my my spreadsheet with each quality and why it's important.
Or I'm not the kind of guy who qualifies himself. And yes, I did wind up meeting up with this girl, I think.
You know what you could do there too? She keeps
on Wednesday.
She keeps trying to qualify you. If she keeps trying to qualify you, what the fuck was just in my head? Yeah, some that you could start hinting at the meetup there too. I guess you'll have to like find out some of this in person. Some variation of that. What do you think about that, Alex, or no?
I typically don't like to escalate on a shit test of any kind, or on non-compliance, because then usually they pull back.
Incredible patience.
But yeah, all right. That's basically all.
Good one.
That's all the examples I have. Actually, I just put those together last night. What do you guys think about this concept? Let us know in the chat whether you like this little new way of doing interactive text quizzes.
Dude, could you do, I don't know if there's like some sort of legal thing behind it, but could you do like live swiping and then like message during? So like the audience will see as you're live streaming, you know, the girl's face, and then obviously them messaging you and you messaging them back. Like doing that live, is there some sort of?
Here's the problem with that concept. There's a few. I've thought of that in the past. The biggest one is that girls take time to respond, so it's going to get stale really fast. Like once you get to a point where you've run out of the girls that swipe right on you, so you're just swiping endlessly. You're not getting any matches, and all the girls you matched with, you've already messaged. So after like 5-10 minutes, like it'll just be like completely stale. It'll just be like, okay.
Yeah, but if it's something like Bumble, for example, where they have to message you within 24 hours or the thing disappears, I think it's more likely to.
The only way this could
so if you do like
work,
yeah, go ahead.
The only way this could possibly work is if you do like a Giga Chat photos where the girls are going to be like really responsive to, so that at least there's going to be like a good amount of action. Without that, it'll just be really.
Well, I have a Giga Chat profile, so I could probably do that.
Oh, okay.
So maybe I'll do it one day.
But you just
not to sound like a braggadocious dick, but it's true.
You'd have to also like mirror your phone on StreamYard, which is actually doable. We've done that in the past, but
this is why Tinder's bad. Zamperion is the best PUA, and Zamperion hates Tinder. Therefore, Tinder is bad.
Who's Zamperion?
He's like this Romanian pickup guy. He's pretty cool. He was on my podcast, but I don't think he hates Tinder. I've never heard him say that. At least not during the podcast we had.
I asked him if he still approaches, and he says no. He just like kind of looks at pretty girls.
Who's
on
Zan?
the street? Yeah.
Oh, really?
Well, he's like 50 something. He has like a long-term girlfriend.
Oh. So you said you have been banned from every dating app. So have you had to do more cold approach or no?
Besides Seeking and Field, but I'm back on Bumble now. No,
dude, the girls on Seeking Arrangement have been just going downhill. They're like fewer and fewer attractive girls on there.
Really? I don't know.
It's like I feel like the fatness of America is just flooding into every app now.
But
they're like the Tinder fatties have moved on to Seeking too.
I feel like the average chick in Miami is still like quite hot. At least from
I found, dude, literally cold approach, but plus Instagram, I found is like my favorite so far. So literally, like at least for quality.
A lot of men peak in their 30s.
Dude, Alex.
So I don't get what you're saying here.
Also, I'm not 30 plus. I'm 28. So,
like Brad Pitt in Fight Club was 35, right? And that's when he was considered a sex symbol. Or who's the guy who plays
Tom
Thor?
Cruise in Mission Impossible. He's like in his 40s. So yeah.
George Clooney.
Like, Alex, don't talk about what I'm wearing, but
yourself,
check out this girl's booty in the group chat.
Let's take a look.
Did your course launch already, Alex?
Oh, that's you?
The 2.0?
Yeah. Damn. Yeah, you are definitely looking like real young in this one. But yeah, it looks pretty nice.
Nice.
Did what?
floral
Sorry.
t-shirt.
What's the question?
I like girls with asses so big that they look like a fucking centaur.
Yeah, me
They
too.
look like a half horse, half woman hybrid. Just like comes out of the back.
My whole thing is I want the booty to be so big that the girl can't walk properly.
Yes.
No.
Can it be a booty that's all fat, or do they need to be like pretty fit?
No, there has to be the proper
hourglass shape?
proportion between muscle and what's it called? Muscle, fat, and also like their hips have to be wide. So you want their
There's
hips
the
to go
depth and
out,
the
but
width.
also when you see them sideways, you want it to come out back.
Yeah, that's the depth and the width. So yeah, you need the right
Yes.
amount of depth and width. Some girls have a lot of depth but no width, and some girls, more commonly, girls have width but no depth. You need that nice combination of both for a nice booty. You have a booty. That's
Well,
all.
they-
Alex,
depth
Alex knows
is
what he's
achieved
talking about.
most of their
I'm
fitness.
finally I'm backing up Alex. I'm gonna verify him. He's what he just said was true.
I spend a lot of time thinking about like big booties.
He's
So,
legit.
yeah.
I spend a lot
You're
of
in the
time thinking
perfect
about
place
booty.
for it in Miami.
Yeah.
There's a bunch of Latinas walking around.
Yeah.
If you like ass, you're gay.
Yeah. Gays also tend to like pizza. So if you like pizza, you're gay because gay
They also
people
breathe
also
air.
like pizza. Yeah.
Oh, it's true. They do
You
breathe
breathe
air.
oxygen. You know who else breathes oxygen? Gay
Trannies.
people. Yes, trannies. I'm not even gonna make a joke. There's one hanging in the air there. This is what I'm talking about, Alex. Austen antagonized. He instigates and then I react. You know what I'm talking about. I wasn't
yeah,
about to bring that up.
Alex likes when they're built like ants, all booty, no thigh. Yeah.
Oh yeah, dude. I think thighs are important, man.
I don't like tall girls. That's true.
Dude, I like Zan. I like his book. I had him on my he's in my course. I interviewed him for my course. What do you think?
Or do you think the averagely account for celebrity? It really depends on which celebrity. Like Leonardo DiCaprio is probably like over 1,000. But then
Same
like
with what's his name? Because his good buddy was Tobey Maguire, who's not a good-looking dude at all, and is really awkward and weird. But I'm sure his is really high too, just because it is, especially during Spider-Man. Because they apparently they had this whole crew where they were like known to be like the Hollywood fuckboys.
Oh, you know who else? Also, fucking who's the black guy in Django Unchained? Jamie Foxx. Jamie Foxx. Yeah, he apparently also rails a whole bunch of girls.
I thought he was married.
Dude,
with
I
kids,
found
bro.
that these people that they
I
just
thought
talk about
maybe he did, but I thought he banged a whole bunch of girls. From what I've heard.
the people that just discuss other dating coaches and pickup guys, they never have good results themselves. They're always talking about something that's external, someone else.
Still
Yeah, I made a
wondering-
stream on this the other day. I don't like how when people just use
You made a
gay
stream
to
on
make
this?
it like a dick measuring contest. Oh yeah, yeah, exactly.
Was this on-
Kevin
were
Gay
you
Wilder
camming?
exposed? These are not the same as tight. Okay. Again, look, we had a debate on this before, but you know, I just don't think eating ass is. I don't think that makes you gay. I just think it's kind of gross. You know, if it's a girl's ass, it's fine. But I just don't get it. I don't get it.
I made this girl eat my
poop
ass
out of there.
yesterday.
It's pretty funny because Maddie saw that podcast and she's like, Austin has the right attitude. You guys should be more open minded to eating ass.
And then
No, there was no end then. But she was like,
Well, does your neck issue also affect that?
You would think so, yeah. I guess because of the same angles and whatnot.
You don't need to move your head or neck that much when you're eating girls out, though. You can literally just use your tongue.
Yeah, it's just like your neck is in like a non-neutral position for an extended period
Yeah.
of time.
Okay.
Yeah.
You need to get some sort of like holster. So like you need to like put your girlfriend on one of those things and like crank her up into the sky. And then... Yo, I'm gonna send this other thing in the group chat. Holy fuck. This is
That would be funny.
my buddy in LA. Oh, I don't know if I'm gonna find it.
Debate Natty on
Debate.
Dude, he took two girls, he bondaged them like from the knees and the whatever, and he just like cranked them up in the air with like this electronic crank in his like fucking design studio. So it's crazy.
Dude, that's so funny. He had to have copied and pasted that from somewhere. I'm sorry. If that was an original joke of yours, bravo.
What joke?
Have you seen Predator
This
before?
gonna scare me.
You know, like the Predator is just
Oh,
like.
okay. Hit
Oh man.
hit the like button so Alex can buy a new neck. If only one could buy a new neck, that would make my life easy.
Do neck exercises, bro.
I do.
You do? Good.
Yeah.
They're fucking great. I do them every day now. I'm doing this new form of training called nucleus overload training, and it's great. I'll make a video about it someday.
Do you use the iron neck?
No. The iron neck is great, but I think it's largely unnecessary. Mostly, all you have to do is just neck flexion exercises. It's the same thing with your forearms. If you want to build your forearms, you don't do like extension exercises this way. You do curling this way because it's such a small muscle here. Same with the neck. You don't need to do much extension because the neck muscles.
Yo, Alex,
pretty
this is a good
small.
point. You could just have a girl sit on your face. She's like riding you, and then you just literally. What I do is I take their thighs and I just like pick them up and then put them on my face, and then I put them back.
Yeah, I guess this just kind of goes to how much I don't really care about like eating ass or pussy that much to put it in the work to do
Dude,
that.
every time I get on the stream, I'm about to like leave the stream forever. Like I'm just on the fence at all times.
So this is something Alex and I will probably disagree with. I've always found that cold approach, I can get hotter girls more easily. So if I want to get like an 8, 9, or 10, much easier to do in person because the economics of it, it's easier to stand out. If I want to get a bunch of 6s and 7s, online dating's easier.
I don't necessarily like disagree
Also, the word in there is should. It also depends on what your goal is. I think if you want to develop your personality, I think cold approach is like self-development and like improv on steroids. And
It's
I think
also
it's
like
one of
why-
the fastest ways to get people to transform.
Yeah, and it's like, well, why do you want to avoid approaching? If you want to avoid approaching because you're scared of doing it, from a self-development standpoint, you should do it, right? Regardless.
That said, it also depends on what you're using, what kind of like online dating you're using. I feel like Seeking, I've got pretty hot girls from that pretty easily.
I mean,
I've never used that one.
Even on Tinder and Bumble, I've gotten like above 6 and 7s. There's hot girls on there, but yeah, I mean, I would still do approaching. Yeah, like I don't believe in like you should cut off cold approaching. I think it's good for sure.
Well, to Austin's point, it depends on where you're currently at, right? So we're all like YouTubers. We talk for a living, right? So we're naturally good at socializing. So we meet somebody
Not
from
naturally.
online dating.
Debatable.
Fine.
Not
Whatever.
really good
We've
at
got-
socializing.
Sorry. We've
Next
gotten to
to
the point,
natural.
right? So we've gotten to the point. So, we meet someone, we meet a girl from online dating, and the interaction will probably go quite well because we know how to So if
like
you
a
haven't
layup.
developed that skill, and then you do online dating, okay, fine. You meet the girl on a date. She might even come to your place, right? But still, if you're like socially retarded, then like nothing's gonna happen. Right. And so you need to handle that side. A good way to handle that side is to do cold approaching, socialize, to learn how to talk to people.
No,
learn to be
definitely not,
charismatic.
Syndicate. You're wrong.
Talking to women is basically like playing chess. You just need to make the correct next move. Don't smile too much. Yo,
Just
this
make sure you
question,
have
why
a
are
flow
girls so
chart,
bitchy
an
during night
NPC
game?
flow chart.
I actually have a chart for this one to my course. Basically, like let's say a night game venue is from 10 to 2. It's basically like the girls' receptivity peaks are around like 12:30. I don't know if your experience of this, Avery. But like after that, it's like girls, their feet hurt, they're tired, they start thinking about stuff they have to do tomorrow. They're just like cranky.
That's
They've
interesting
had
that
like
you say
75
12:30.
uncalibrated guys approach them.
And the ratio gets worse too, at least in most
Yeah.
clubs I've been to.
Yep.
It gets like all the hot girls are getting pulled, and so
It gets more competitive environment. Yeah. So
and they get kind of fatigued from being approached by a lot of weird guys too. So they have more of a shield up at the initial approach.
I feel like
And then once the
most people when
headliner
they're
comes on, they're all focused on the DJ.
I would say it's like more like 9 p.m. I find the girls are way more receptive like in the early evening, like 6, 7, 8 p.m. Not that I really go out during that time.
honestly, you're right. Like, yeah, and especially if they start going out and day drinking or whatever, because that little chart thing that I just kind of like demonstrated or whatever, that applies to each girl's experience going out. So if a girl goes out at 5, like by like 10 p.m., she's fucking completely done with everything. Right. But if a girl goes out at fucking 1 a.m. or 12 or whatever, then she has a different kind of curve, right? She hasn't had the full experience of the night. She hasn't been annoyed by too many guys yet.
Some of my best results with chicks came from like going out earlier, like 6 or 7 p.m. Honestly, like or 8 p.m.
Just day game, just the streets.
No, just like going to a bar at like 7 p.m. for example.
In Florida, in Miami, also Tampa, Orlando, whatever, that they have so many venues that start opening up at like 5, 6 p.m.
The
I think
ratio is the best. The girls are the most receptive. Like it's just like every factor is better earlier in my experience. Versus like past like 12:30, 1 a.m. It's like real competitive. The girls are like pissed off. It's more dudes. But yeah, like even earlier, like 7 or 8 p.m. It's at bars. Like that's usually when I have the best results.
What do you guys
dude,
think
when I
of
was
this?
learning
If you're
game,
good looking,
every
all
girl
you have to do is not mess up.
in the beginning when I was learning pulling, almost every time I pulled was like when the venue closed and kicked me out because I didn't have strong enough like seating and leading and this type of stuff. And then over time, you just learn that skill set. And yeah, you can pull from day game, you can pull from evening game, whatever.
They kicked you out?
No. Like when the club closes, like 2 a.m., 3 a.m.
Yeah, okay.
What do you guys think
Where
of
are
this?
your parents? All right, let's get this little kid home. He's out past his bedtime. Let's call his parents.
But to finally answer this question, dude, I'm so like retarded today. To finally answer this question, it also has to do with how you're dressed, what you look like, what your vibe is like on the open. Most guys make a lot of beginner mistakes when they go and talk to girls. They open too close, they touch the girl weirdly, scares her. So it could also be a bunch of those things.
Or too far, and the girl doesn't.
You have a blank profile, so that also is an indication.
Because it to piggyback off what you were just saying there, Austin. Because some guys think that, like, if you're just Chad, you don't need to do anything.
Well, you still need to lead and make shit happen. So you still need to optimally.
Well, it's not
just being
too,
attractive.
like,
just being physically attractive is not enough because women have evolved to want to look for men that had good social skills, good leadership, the ability to provide resources. Good looking is just one adaptive problem. There's 6 adaptive problems of evolution for reproduction, and that only solves one, which is good genes. So there's 5 other problems. If a girl just wants to hook up, the thing is, he is kind of right in a way. If a girl just wants to fuck like right then and there, and you don't have to generate any attraction because other guys in the venue just did it for you, then it is kind of true. You do have to lead though, but
you have to lead. Yeah.
If you just want to go for 5-minute pulls.
Yeah. Well, also, we're talking as if like not messing it up is like easy. People self-sabotage themselves all the time because they're insecure about whatever. They okay, how do you not mess up a shit test? That's where a lot of guys fail. So technically they're instead of when you're either passing it or failing it. So if you want to reduce it down to just that.
I've had plenty of good-looking clients who, like, the girl might be initially attracted, but he runs out of things to say. He's boring. He's flat. He's logical. And then the girl loses interest within like 2 minutes, right? So she might be open the window more, but it closes very quickly.
Yeah, I've seen that.
And then at the same time, I've had girls who, when I approach, they're not interested at all, but then I'm charming and witty, and then they start liking me. It goes both ways. It's an advantage, sure.
I don't appreciate being exposed like this on a live stream. But dude, being in high school is a lot easier because like the competition's a lot lower. Like most guys don't know games. So
yeah.
Well said. It's Charisma King scam. I've seen him pull hot girls plenty of times, so it depends what you mean. I mean, does he have game? Yes.
Oh my god. Now comes like all the blank profiles asking, is this person a scam? What about this one? How about this one? I must know everything before I start my journey. Until I know everything and all my questions are answered, I can't take my first.
Then I'll do an approach.
That's RSD Derek's real name. That's the username he's using. That's pretty funny.
Oh, okay.
What?
Yeah, I don't like that guy, to be honest.
That's RSD.
I've had so many people tell me that Derek's boot
actually
camps
him?
are trash. I've had many people tell me that. I don't know about you, Austin, but I've heard that many times.
Yeah.
And plus, he's suing another YouTuber for supposed slander.
He's suing more than one YouTuber.
He's suing Spencer Cornelia. I'm pretty sure I'm allowed to say that.
That's what you do when you're rich,
Yeah. Just go around and try to
silence the competition.
Yep. That's the way you do it on YouTube.
Hey, how's your night going? Hi. Also, like, I'll give a.
Did you see the fight outside?
Are you familiar with my YouTube channel?
Yeah, you just bring up your subscriber count, just put it at their face, and be like, "What's up,
dude? I've seen your fucking YouTube channel 100 times. Get that out of my face." She just can't handle the crowd.
Dude, just do that and start explaining to her what a high value man is.
Dude, one of the funniest ones they came up with in Miami, there's like these giant fans like at the wharf, just like big fans that blow a lot of air. And like I just stand next to it to cool off. And then when girls walk by, I'd be like, hey, I'm a huge fan. And then
oh yeah, I know those fans, yeah.
Situational opens are often really good. If two girls are talking, I'll say, sorry to interrupt the stimulating conversation. I got one of my girlfriends that way. And what they were talking about when I walked up was if one more guy rudely interrupts us, we're fucking leaving. And then I went up, hey, sorry to interrupt the stimulating conversation. I just had to do it. And then dated her for a while. Yeah.
If one more
Those are the
underage
main
guy
ones.
approaches us, we're leaving this venue. Hello.
Yeah, a lot of the best ones are just situational. Like the best humor is in the moment, and also I think a lot of the best opens are just like relevant to the girl and relevant to like the situation that's happening. So you got to be observant and present to and say what you see.
Yeah, when you have momentum, when you're in a flow state, you'll think of clever things off the top of your head, but you want to have some backups for when you're not in that state, which can be as simple as like just saying your name. What's up? Hey, it doesn't have to be that complicated.
Yeah, that's one I use a lot. I just go over there, introduce myself. I'm like, hi, I'm Alex.
Yeah. Oi, I'm Tim.
Oi.
Yeah, one thing, I mean, maybe this
Hello,
maybe it doesn't
Tim.
matter, but I like never tell them my name unless they ask. I kind of use that as like a compliance type thing for me. I know that's maybe like being try hard or whatever, but like
what's her name?
It's a move on the chessboard.
Yeah.
So if a girl's like, "Oh, hey, nice to meet you. What's your name? I'm Ashley."
You'll never get my
Then
fucking
I'll
name,
answer.
bitch.
Yeah, but I don't say like I don't go out of my way to say my name.
What do I
sounds
look
really
like?
stupid,
Do I look like a
like,
John? Do I look like a Jason?
No, I don't do that. I do. You know what? In college, even though I didn't go to college, I went to college parties a lot. I don't think this would actually work with like, people or girls who are 21 or older and not drunk. But I remember I'd go to these college parties and I would try to pull that game and just be like, they'll ask me my name and I'll be like, oh, I can't tell you. And I'll just walk away. And then you're like, eventually people start talking within the party, and then you're like the most interesting person.
Hey, let's go.
It's really stupid and gamey, but if any of you guys are in college, you go to a frat party, try that. And
you're changing the world one
surprised.
person at a time, Austen.
Oh man.
So this is, I think it's important to be able to open directly, to get over the fear of making your intentions clear. It's important to be able to show, like, go up to a girl and be like, I find you attractive, and to put your ego on the line. And once you're comfortable doing that, then you don't need to open direct anymore. But it's important to get over that fear. So it's good to open direct when you're learning. Yeah,
I've heard it said like opening direct gives you saying these kind of statements like you're cute, you're attractive, whatever, is kind of like training wheels, because your problem is that you think you're going to get in trouble if you hit on a girl. A lot of that comes down to sexual shame and stuff. So if you start complimenting girls and making sexual comments around them and they respond to it really well, then you understand that, and then it can start to come out through your sub communication. So like if I go up to a girl, I'm like, hey, I really like your purse, like that. You can tell that it's like there's sexuality behind it, but I'm not like saying anything directly.
Then you don't need it. It's just automatically there. And that's the best, right? Because if you are not verbally communicating like that, I think you're hot, there's more mystery. There's more room for her to wonder.
Dude, that'd be sick if I could get that as a license plate. Dude, there's so many rejected license plates, custom license plates, but the one I'm getting is pretty funny. I'll tell you guys once I get it so no one steals it.
There's probably a lot of leeway in Florida, I'd imagine.
I'm your daddy now.
Oh, yeah, wait, so this is the key. Isolate a girl away from her father and fuck her in an alley.
Hold on.
Let me break
Avery,
this down.
we had you and I have infield of this. It's on my channel. Remember there were those two moms. There was that hot tall girl and then the short
was
girl.
Moms.
So we just ended up, going and drinking with their moms. And then I met up with that.
And then the moms fucked off. They left. And you're welcome for that one, because the friend was not nearly as attractive.
Thanks, bro. Well, she's also in a relationship too. Yeah, she wasn't as attractive either. But apparently that doesn't count as an infield. Apparently I have 0 receipts. So what the fuck do I know?
Well, we can always put out the poll, right?
You will always be Kevin 0 receipts. Wild.
Yeah, I know, right? Even I could show all the receipts of the world and be like, those don't count.
Yo, so for this one, one exercise I'll have my students do is silent opens. So basically just going up and just communicating without words. So you go up like, hey, your face, very cute. What's your name? Like this type of thing, but you're not saying anything. You're just using those motions.
So really quickly, Johnny, I'm going to plug myself real quickly here. It's in the video. It's in a video of mine called Charisma Beats Game. And you can see that in there.
That's interesting. I think kind of charisma is game.
Yeah, I mean,
that's a lot of what game is being charismatic.
Yeah, I kind of explained that in the video. I was basically saying I was
Okay.
trying to make a distinction between charisma and like outer game, in the sense of like, oh, what are all the technical, what's this NPC flowchart that I use? If they say this, I say that, right? And if
Right.
and this is the type of stuff that you teach anyway, Avery, of like, instead of just being like a freaking, robot and robotic with your responses and being way too logical, you should, develop
Todd
your
V.
charisma to the point. Yeah, like Todd V.
I
Or
must
some
know
other
all
people.
these unknown coaches right away. I need to know all the answers before I can begin. Tell me all of them.
Yeah, I don't.
Tell me all the information. This is David Bond has this singer. It's like the archetypes of people who are never successful, and that one's called the information collector. It's just like, I must know all the answers. Can you here? It's like the person that's like, hey, I want to start a YouTube channel, and you're like, okay, cool. So what's the channel? Like, oh, I haven't pressed create account yet. I need to know what lens. I need to know the camera settings on the camera that I don't have yet before I can.
When you
just,
could literally just like you have an
record
iPhone.
with my phone.
Oh,
Yeah.
or
Just
the
start
classic
talking to
one.
it.
The classic one. We can all relate to this because we've all traveled. The guys that always like look at you travel and be like, "Oh, I want to do that. I'm going to do that someday." It's like, well, why don't you fucking do it? You meet up with them 2 years later. They still haven't left their hometown.
So I actually was that guy. Like I was that guy from the ages of 16 to about 21, and it was fucking.
I mean,
depressing.
you still are that guy. Let's be real.
Yeah, I still am that guy. But I read the game, then I bought all the courses. I bought David D'Angelo's courses. I bought hundreds and hundreds of dollars of courses, and I didn't do an approach until I was 21, and it was a total waste of 5 years of game knowledge. Don't be that guy.
You know what? Really quickly, props to this guy, because like one of the first ways to solve your problems is to have enough humility to admit your faults, right?
Mm-hmm.
So for every person like this that says like, honestly, that's me, I'm just an information collector, there's 100 other dudes that just cope and act like that's not what they are, right? So
you
props
open
to
the door to be able to change when you admit that.
Yeah.
That was definitely like the opposite of me. When I first read the game, I was just like so pumped. I remember the next night, I stayed up all night reading the game. Next night, I went out and like tried the mystery method. I was like so excited to go out and like try that shit. So that's like something that I know exists, but I have like such a hard time relating to because it's like the exact opposite of my personality.
You're naturally an action-taking Chad, eh?
I'm definitely not a Chad, but I do like taking action. Yeah.
Well, Chad mentality.
I had 3 months of information collecting, and then there was one sentence that made me go and take my first approach. What was the sentence? I'm glad you asked, Alex.
Okay.
So the sentence, it was actually Paul. I was going through Paul Jenka's program, and it was like maybe like video number 11 or something, and he goes, by the way, if you still haven't done your first approach, literally turn this program off and go do it right now. Like you're just wasting your time. Like even if you're in your car listening to this, like pull over and go do your first approach. So I was listening to this in my dorm room. I just like, he's fucking right. Got my fucking jacket on, went outside, did my first approach. And it was like I did fucking cocaine, just fucking adrenaline rush. Cocaine. Yes. Wow.
I mean, if I know her husband is nearby, I probably wouldn't do it.
But no, you tell him I have higher SMV than you. I have higher SMV than your husband, and therefore, what's it called? Hypergamy dictates that you must now have sex with me.
This is all bullshit. You challenged him to a duel like we did in the good old days.
You mean a Yu-Gi-Oh duel, right?
Yeah.
Oh wait, that's Dragon Ball Z. Fuck. I don't know any of this shit.
I will fight for the lady's honor.
No. I challenge you to a duel, an honor duel.
That's accurate.
Yeah, that's accurate.
Z game.
I should read the game. I still haven't read that book.
Really? It's very well written, and for someone like with what we do, it's interesting, you know?
I would just be
Let me
vague.
see if I have it.
I would just be like, I don't know, like,
Yeah, I give
would
non-answers.
I would just troll her. I'd be like, I'm a diehard Hillary Clinton fan. I like have her on my wall and just like not let the girl know if you're kidding or not.
So I just
Well, no, I mean
like,
you can reframe it to talk about like how you're passionate about something else. It's like, you know what? People focus so much on politics. I care about what people are like on the inside, you know? Like if you're a Democrat, if you're a Republican, but you're like a kind person, and we might have some disagreements, and it's all good.
People
And
focus so much on
usually
politics.
if you can appeal to their emotion like that, then they'll just shut up about that type of shit.
People focus
And
all their
sometimes
energy on politics. I focus my energy on arguing with people on the internet. So yeah, I make
it's,
that-
as long as they're not
Yo,
an
all this
SJW.
said, do you guys know the vast majority of people that are entrepreneurs that are successful, what is their political views? Like,
They're
just
probably
generally
more
speaking.
conservative. I would definitely
Yeah.
get that.
Almost all my friends are they're either conservative or libertarian. Like,
Yeah.
I know. I think
What's more
one
so
of
kind
my
of what
friends that
happened is
liberal.
the Overton window kind of shifted, and it keeps shifting more toward the left. So people who, let's say 20 years ago would be considered like a liberal are now marked as conservative and on the right. Right.
Yeah, they call
that's
Bill
really
Maher
more the
conservative,
issue.
which is
Yeah.
insane. Yeah.
Yeah.
But like now Bill Maher is called by some alt-right, which is like
As a
insane.
conservative.
Yeah, like the most like liberal historically guy ever. But yeah, now he's not like liberal enough.
I believe he was banned from Amazon, actually.
Who?
Nate, can you tell
Day
them
ban.
Roosh V. Roosh V, yeah.
That's such a great.
He was banned from Amazon.
I thought you were talking about Bill Maher. I was like, how the fuck did he get banned?
Oh,
Makes more sense.
can you come? Yo, so like in the West, especially, girls have made like that stuff their personality and like everything about them. So the shirtless rocket engineer is going to tell us about why that is.
Talking about social contagion theory.
Yeah.
Yeah. So basically, I was listening to some people talk about how over the last several decades, we've basically robbed everybody from any ability to have a positive identity. So if you're a conventional person who values conventional things, especially if you're male, you're associated with tyranny, right? Any manifestation of your ambition as a male makes you toxic. Everything about you is damaging to society. If you're a conventional woman, you're actually playing part in the patriarchy and everything that's destroying the world. Basically, everything about you is terrible. But the only positive identity that you can have now is one that basically doesn't fit inside any of the norms, which is basically what we're seeing today with like everything LGBTQIA+. So you find women who are like, the only way for me to be positive in this world is for me to no longer be identified as a woman. And so now I'm like gender fluid. I'm just a birthing person. I'm just a semen producing male. It's like, it's insane. But yeah, those are basically the only positive identities you can have in today's political world. So,
well, it's all rooted in cultural Marxism.
Well,
So
but if you're
Stop
conservative, I think it's different. Right? If
Stop
you're
asking
conservative,
why I
it's
have naked men in all of my streams. Okay, you're not gonna like what you find. Stop fucking digging.
Well, I'm kind of curious though.
Next question.
That was a good explanation by your friend. I just
your,
wanted to say, it's all
quote-unquote
rooted in
friend.
cultural Marxism. So,
Or you have to say "quote unquote" friend.
quote unquote, yeah, by your friend.
Sex slave.
Yeah.
By Mr. Slave.
Yeah.
Mr. Slave.
no,
Let's
Mr.
call him
Slave.
Mr. Slave.
Dude, I have
like
been
it.
so tempted to just drop OnlyFans. I have so much. I have like a terabyte of private porn I've done with girls. I just have to like message them all and make sure they get their own OnlyFans and then link them and blah blah blah.
But what percentage of them will be cool with you making it public? Because for me, that's a very small.
If they got like half of the revenue, probably like a quarter of them. I don't know.
Oh.
Dude, I have some really good stuff that I've shot. Like when you compare it to like what's on the internet, you're like, this is like top tier. Like good lighting, cinematography, like fucking
You bring out the
role
DSLR
plays and
camera.
fucking dude.
Is there a way to watch that without seeing your penis?
Yeah, let me send it to my Japanese editor. My pixelated.
I'll be your
editor.
Japanese editor. I got you, bro.
Dude, the thing about Japanese
Pixelate
girls,
the
they're
shit out of
fucking
them.
hot, but like when they take off their underwear, you see the pixelated puss. It's just like hard to go through with it, you know?
Yeah.
This actually could.
Yeah,
work
that's
for
not
fucking
something that's done post edit. That's literally just
What?
how Japanese women are.
Okay.
It's permanently pixelated.
Oh,
And same
yeah.
with Japanese men. Like my dick is just pixelated constantly.
All right, yeah.
I'd show it on air, but we'd get demonetized. Actually, no, we wouldn't because it's automatically pixelated, so it's all good.
Dude, I thought the question was going to be
task
best
cam.
microphone to shoot porn.
Yeah. Task cam.
Probably.
Best microphone to record infield. Oh, I actually have that. Fuck.
I would say
Or what
the-
Avery has, the Rode, right?
Yeah,
Yeah,
just
the
get.
Rode
I mean,
Wireless
Rode
would work.
Wireless Go 2 would be the better.
Although
one.
the range on them is not that great. That's
But on the 2, it's a lot better.
oh, it is.
Yeah.
Yeah, Avery's mics are like insane. They're like really good.
Yeah,
I mean,
no,
you can get a Sennheiser if you really want to go all out, but that's like
yeah, that's
$700.
what I recently got. I got a Sennheiser. I do think the audio quality is higher, but but they're bigger, which is annoying for infield.
Yeah, but
Wait,
you
I
can
will tell you
literally
guys
like
the best
as
mic.
you're filming the infield, you could hear the mic clearly as you're filming it, like as the cameraman's filming it.
With what mic system?
Pretty great. What Avery has,
The
rather
Rode.
than having to put it together post edit, it's already there.
Yeah,
So you
oh,
can
yeah.
listen to it as it's
with
happening.
Any, yeah. No, that's with any wireless mic. That's nothing special about like the Rode. It's the same way with the Sennheiser with any system. Yeah, that's not nothing too special there.
I don't know. I just thought his the Rode thing was really good.
Yeah, the Rode is decent, but yeah, the range thing is a potential issue. Like we've had some infield where the audio just came out like shit when we weren't like super close, when the camera person wasn't super close. That's my only like critique of the Rode. It's also not good if there's something like blocking the path, like if there's not direct line of sight. So you just have to be mindful of that if you're using a Rode. Okay, I just went on a long tangent. I don't know.
Okay, I found
somebody just wants their tech. They're baiting me. Someone said favorite philosophers. I'd love to share that, but that's not the point of this podcast. I think they just
Which
know
philosophers have the
click
best
on.
game? Philosophers
Oh,
fuck
yes.
the most bitches.
I don't even know. I couldn't even.
Schopenhauer's number one.
I couldn't even.
Dude, Schopenhauer's a
Power
scam,
is
bro.
definitely not number one.
Didn't he?
Probably
Like, wasn't he
Aristotle.
based? Wasn't he really based? Like he would say horrible things about women all the time.
Yeah, he would. He was anti-natalist. He thought that we should start a movement to like stop having kids because life is just suffering. But actually,
Okay,
he actually has some very good insights. Like it's actually pretty positive sometimes. But,
Sorry it took so long, but this
What
is
is
this
this?
is the best
Just porn?
microphone for infield.
Oh, I thought you just linked. I thought you just linked us the new
My
OnlyFans. It's like, oh, it's ready already.
Dude,
huh?
the amount of money my friends are making with managing girls' OnlyFans and their fucking what's it called, their webcam stuff is like disgusting.
Is it
Dude,
both disgusting?
Sartre liked little boys, and yeah, no.
How do I game my dad without my sister?
Socrates was ugly. I don't know if you guys knew that. He actually was physically ugly.
Oh, we got you started.
Yeah,
Kevin, you're gonna be like
yeah.
you're gonna be the J Molf channel, but for philosophers.
All right, guys. Today we're going to expose the Socrates. And
Yeah.
how he
Socrates exposed. Gay sex.
Socrates exposed.
Yeah.
He was ugly and secretly
Depressed,
gay.
suicidal idiot.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yo, what should we go into now?
oh, I feel like we should call it. We've gone for like an hour and a half. We covered the principle. I don't know, unless you guys want to go longer.
So
Yeah.
I'm gonna go. You guys can join me on my channel later if you want. At 6:15, I'm basically gonna be doing a stream.
What time zone?
So like in less than an hour. But basically, I'm actually gonna be talking about whether women should be able to vote or not. I know that sounds insane, but
Women should be what?
whether they should be allowed to vote or not.
Definitely not.
Oh, dude, I don't think they should. There's really, really good arguments for this. Like
So you can come on
women
if you
are
want.
net takers from society and men are net givers to society, especially through the tax system. So like if you're just having people with the right vote that are like a majority, then you basically set up a system where you're just going to vote for more and more redistributive programs. And like, yeah. And also I think, well, voting in general is pretty fucking retarded. There's you should check out this guy. He has a book called, what is it called? Voting. It's basically why voting is so bad. Like the idea of voting comes down to this principle of, okay, hold on. Why don't you guys talk for a second? I haven't dude, my brain's not fucking working today.
I mean, I see
fucking
where you're
came
going,
in
but then
today,
it just
bro.
makes more sense to do like means testing, like they used to do like 70, 80 years ago, where you're a person who has like property or money or wealth, and you can vote rather than making it by gender. But yeah,
It's this simple,
my
guys. What
brain
is
has
America
loaded.
founded on? So why were the colonies? Why did the colonies revolt against Britain and eventually become the United States?
Because
There's a central sort of platitude that they had that represented why.
Whatever without representation.
Yeah, no taxation without representation. So basically, look, if women didn't have to pay taxes, then yeah, that's that maybe you can make an argument saying, okay, we can take away their voting rights, but also they don't have to pay
intelligence
taxes.
of like you have to do an IQ test before you can vote, and you have to like.
So Alex literally brought up the crux of the argument. So this is the book I'm talking about. It's called The Myth of the Rational Voter, and what Alex said is basically you have to be smart enough to vote. So the reason why we're allowed to vote basically comes down to the myth of the intelligent voter, which means that 45% of people are on one side. 45% of people are 90% of people are too retarded to even think. So for them, voting is like flipping a coin. So you have 45 versus 45, and then 10% of people are smart enough to like make a rational choice and vote for the winner. So the winner would get 55%, and then the loser would get 45%. So that's the myth of the rational voter. But the problem with that is that there's so many biases that make humans unable to think, even the smartest ones, such as anti-foreign bias, such as like, there's tons of cognitive biases. We know there's like hundreds of them. So the idea that people are smart enough to make these correct decisions is wrong. Like you see like tons of smart people that back up like SJW ideas and stuff like this, right?
Yeah, but why? How
they just get into the commitment consistency bias and blah blah blah.
How would that preclude women specifically?
Well, the goal for me.
I'm saying in general, people in general are bad at voting.
Oh, okay.
Like,
yeah, sure.
Yeah.
And then if you add women on top of that, women take more than they give in terms of.
I just think most people are retarded
for money, for taxes.
That includes men and women. Like I think men can be equal.
Yeah, but here's the thing. Here's the issue when you start to speak in generalizing terms like that, because you could say the same thing if you look statistically of what races and genders or what certain sects of the population contribute to society. Technically, Black people will overall take more.
If you're saying society, right? I think everyone contributes to society. So
then hold on.
Government, because government's the initiation of violence. So if you have a group of people in charge of the initiation of violence, then they're going to do things that are unjust.
All I'm saying is the logic that you used for women, more specifically that they take more than they give, you could also say that if you're speaking of them as a whole in just one group, you could say the same thing about Black people, right? So are you saying the same thing about Black people or no?
I don't think government should be taxing people in general, because taxation in it of itself is an immoral action.
Where will like the money for roads?
Dude, no, we're totally. So here's the thing: income tax didn't exist.
So Alex literally just brought up the funniest argument. Like the argument that Alex brought up is the meme argument for like most anarchists. It's like, where would the roads come from, dude? For example, in most states, the vast majority of roads and streets in a state are actually private roads. For example, Maine, there are more private roads than there are public roads in terms of miles and all this kind of stuff. So basically, if you have a subdevelopment or like a community, you would build a road to that. Every like private, like let's say if you go to the supermarket or Publix or something, they pay for their own.
Okay, let me rephrase the argument. Where will the money? I agree, the military should be cut down, but where will it is important for the U.S. to have some kind of military presence that's fairly powerful as a deterrent effect. The military is insanely expensive. Where will the money for the military come? Even if we cut the budget by half, that has to come through tax.
Okay. I haven't gone too deep into these topics recently, but the general idea, why would you want to take over a nation, is basically to get more power. How do you get power? By having a population that you can control and extract taxes from. If you have a highly armed population that doesn't believe that they should be a tax cattle, like a tax slave, then why would you want to take that place over? You're just gonna fucking be in like some kind of Afghanistan type of situation where like the local people are just destroying you.
The military is not just used for taking over countries, though. That's kind of an abuse of the military power. The military also acts as a massive deterrent effect. So if the U.S. didn't have the most powerful military, then Russia would start fucking doing some crazy ass shit, crazy thing they're doing, China and all that.
Okay. Let's break this down too. So you're saying like large military is a net good. I would say it's actually a net bad and a net evil. You're killing people in other countries. You're redistributing trillions of dollars, like leeching value out of people that they could have used for themselves. And then also with the roads thing, why are roads seen as like such amazing things? in Europe, they have like better transportation because not everything is just
they have
like,
higher
we need to
taxes.
maximize the amount of cars. Like a US sucks largely because of car-based transportation networks.
Okay,
So like these things that you're holding as net goods as like obvious aren't net goods in my opinion.
Let me respond to that. So first of all, yes, Europe has better transportation. Europe also has higher taxes. I think there's a lot of issues with the military industrial complex. And yeah, I'm not a big fan of like wars like Afghanistan or Iraq. Well, Afghanistan, I would argue, might have been necessary, but Iraq, certainly not. So I'm not a big fan of like foreign interventionalists. However, it is, yes, I do think it is necessary for the U.S. to be a military power for the safety of the U.S. citizens and the world, because if the U.S. just completely disbands its military, which would happen if we had no tax revenue coming in, then other countries would start taking over, and then potentially one day there would be war. So there's a massive deterrent effect that goes on from the U.S.
This is called the warlords will take over argument. I actually haven't gone too deep into this recently, but what you're saying is basically like, you're probably like smaller government. That's what you'd say, right? Smaller government is what you...
In some ways, yeah. Like I would have some. Like I think there is definitely room to cut the military, but if you get rid of
let me cut in here, because as soon as you say I want small government, the thing that you do is you create an environment for explosion in wealth in society. So what happens when you have like if you just have police, courts, national defense, you have like a night watchman state that does minimalist things in society. What you do is you create an environment for people to massively improve their net worth, their wealth. And then what you do is government's already established with the taxation framework. So all they do is they start saying, everyone's fucking rich as fuck. I could just take a little bit more. And then what do you have? You have the same thing that happened with the US. US is going down every single year in economic freedom. It's expanding. It's leeching more money out of society. And like, you're just like, basically, do you see what I'm saying? It's a pernicious effect where you get government like slowly growing. It's like a parasite on society, and it keeps growing until it's like almost too big. And that's basically what's happened to the US.
Yeah, but I would argue
so that's the problem with small government, is it ends up becoming big government.
Yeah, I would argue that this is like the Ayn Rand fantasy that like, if we just have smaller government, like a lot of things would be better. I just don't really think it works out that way.
I was about to ask that. Are you an Ayn Rand fan, Austin? Or have you read her works?
It
goes directly in line with
very much an Ayn Rand government argument. I just don't really believe in it. I think it's
my take is market anarchism, basically. So I think if you don't have government, you have private industries doing what government currently does.
But like, what's an example
much better
of anarchism? Somalia. That seems like a real great place to live.
Dude, you're making literally every meme argument, Alex.
Yeah, but like
everything you said, that argument is so bad that they call it roads, like MUH roads, like roads.
But are you really arguing for like
anarchism? There's 13 examples of like libertarian anarchism in world history. One of them actually is the Quakers in the U.S. One was the Old West in the U.S. One was like what's it called?
Kind
of like medieval Ireland.
Right now, at this point in history, of a successful anarchist,
the true Sigma.
I don't think you can, because governments violently preclude you from having from living this way, right? What would be cool is if you said like, let's just take South Dakota and make that a market anarchist society and see how it does. Who the fuck wouldn't move there? You have basically, you'll just have more money. You'll have a society where you have freedom. Like you can basically you can do whatever you want. Basically, you can have your fucking abortions or whatever, as long as you don't impact someone else's quality of life.
But you need government to prevent you from affecting someone else's quality of life. People don't.
So what you're saying is you need someone to arbitrate disputes, which I agree. But the thing is that would be done by private rights enforcement agencies as opposed to police. The downside of police is you have no recourse. For example, remember that whole like George Floyd thing? Let's say someone killed someone in your family. The police officer killed someone in your family. And then what recourse do you have? You don't. You basically pay taxes for that police force that killed your family member for the rest of your life. Whereas in a private society, you basically say, this company, this rights enforcement agency killed someone. So I'm actually going to switch agencies and get one that's better. And what would that do? It would basically mean that there would be a de-incentivization of people to violently control people from the rights enforcement. And there would be an incentive for you to use non-lethal methods or better methods of stopping attacks and violence and all these other things.
So this is like a little bit of like actually an argument that the far left uses for defund the police. They tried that in Portland or Seattle, I forget, one of those, where they had like.
So when you create a power vacuum, yeah, that's bad. What I'm suggesting is you would have people that were maybe even police officers before, but then they enter agencies that have proper training, that have what's it called? That the incentives are in line to be less than lethal.
All that sounds
right?
nice in theory, horrible in practice. It's like communism.
So actually, it's actually there. You don't even have to say like it's in theory, because this actually exists. So in Detroit, there's rights enforcement agencies. There's private. They do work alongside the police. But there's a great book called Dial 911 and Die. Basically, if you call the police in different places in the U.S., you have a 1 hour response time. This private rights enforcement agency, they get it there in 10 minutes. So what's better, waiting for 50 minutes when someone's trying to kill you, or waiting for 10 minutes?
Yeah.
And they also patrol the neighborhoods when police aren't doing that. So they basically, government there is forcibly stealing people's money through taxation, which actually isn't theft. It would be
okay. The only way this private security thing can work is if you have money. So that means you will have a situation where the rich parts of the city are fairly safe. But
this is not. You don't have to theorize this, because this exists. So in Detroit, they'll actually take the excess money they have and patrol the poor neighborhoods of that city.
So really quickly, I think this is really important. Look, there's two different things going on here, right? There's two different things. There's one, an ideal society where you can start from scratch. What does that look like? Two, what does society look like based on the current circumstances? And there's one way to achieve this. The one way to achieve this, to have kind of like a hard reset and rebuild society, the way you do that is through revolution, which is a Marxist idea, right? So you do have to consider that of like, okay, the things that you're talking about, Austen, I agree with you in principle, right? Because I am very much libertarian. Ideally, things would be
sounds nice,
like anarchist, right? But the issue is the way in which that would happen is you have to delete the current power structure, right? And you bet the power structure is going to be fighting back against you. So literally, we would have to have revolution where millions of people would die in order to actually enact this, or we can take technically an approach that's more based in realism. Right. I'm not saying that this is unrealistic, like completely unrealistic. It's just that in order for that to happen, millions of people will have to die in order for that to happen. So if that's a sacrifice you're willing to make, then, so be it. Right. But I think that's the disparity between you two. Hold on. I think that's the disagreement that you two guys are having is Alex is taking more from the standpoint, okay, realistically, based on the current situation, how do we do these things without there being a cataclysmic disaster of World War III in order to completely restructure society, right? So I'm actually kind of ambivalent about the situation, because on one hand, if you just keep trying to maintain the status quo and try to like bandage up, little cracks here and there, then eventually it's going to fall apart, right? It's almost like you're just kicking the can down the road, right? So this part might be inevitable, but that is something to consider, is in order to actually change things, for the better one day, there's going to have to be some sort of revolution, right? That's what happened with the U.S. of all days, Independence Day, July 4th, right? So
yeah, the government has a monopoly on violence, and like there's really in modern society, there's no way to have a redistribution of power, violence like that without having like warlords and competing factions and having things get so much more violent. If you look back at like, hang on.
You're saying violence, and he's saying violent revolution. There's obviously another way. But the other way
there's no way to have society
would not take this type of society couldn't take place in somewhere that didn't have strong property rights or a history of like a free market. So this could take place
that's not accurate.
I'd say different parts of the U.S. I'm saying that what I'm describing couldn't take place in
the comment's not accurate.
Oh, okay. Yeah, it couldn't take place in somewhere that's like really chaotic, right? But if you had like a society like the Netherlands, like they could easily do this because they're very free market as it is. And the way that you would get there without violent revolution would be for people to understand that taxation is immoral. Like if taxation isn't theft per se, but it is.
Didn't you say that most people are too stupid to figure that out themselves, though? So how can you reason with them? You know what I mean? Like you said earlier, that
so the Netherlands is a high IQ country.
Okay, so in the Netherlands, there's actually, I believe it's the Netherlands, there's a no police zone, police free zone. It's like a neighborhood. Yep. Yeah. It's called the no-go area as well because it's extremely fucking dangerous. It's the most dangerous part. So there's a part that's like actually police free where they try to privately patrol and private security.
That gets
Like,
into stuff with like the bringing the
most
people, the
violent
refugees
part
and
of the
stuff.
Netherlands. Like I don't know. Like there's just no way to do this shit.
Well,
with,
this is why
without
for me
having
when it comes
insane amounts
to
of violence and
when it comes to politics from a practical standpoint, I think I'm all about states' rights, right? Because you can use different states as sort of like marketing, like a split test, to just be like, okay, well, we have 50 independent states basically running autonomously.
I have a
with
crazy
the
idea. In a couple minutes, you guys maybe want to break down some infield, like talk about pickup. I don't know.
No,
Dude, our viewership went up.
I'm gonna address Kevin's point. He said
That's
people.
pretty neutral.
He said that I said people are too stupid to vote, which I agree with. But the thing is, you're smart enough to understand that someone just taking your money, like a government, just because they wear a fancy hat and have some paper written down, doesn't mean that they get to steal your money. And also, people understand their small niche, right? We understand this niche, right? We have this effect on an economy from this small little perspective. The thing is, when you get to voting, you're talking about giant macroeconomics things that no one understands what they're talking about. Like,
Yeah, so actually, this is why I'm all for, again, states' rights and local rights, as long as there's the thing that binds the states together is the values within the Bill of Rights. And so that way you can kind of split test here and there and say, okay, well, one state is succeeding and another state is failing epically. What is this state doing that this one isn't? And then that way you can build off each other. That way. I think the issue is that
taxation,
things are getting too centralized.
Government is 10 times worse at allocating money than the private sector. So basically, all the money that goes to government, 90% of that is just like being lit on fire by inefficiencies.
But why is that? Why is that? Because the central
they don't have
market
incentives.
right?
Market incentives make you have to be efficient to survive.
So it's not necessarily that state governments, they're not necessarily doing that great with tax money either, but they do far better than central federal government. And then local governments will do far better with what they're given from their local taxpayers.
And if you follow that to its logical conclusion, you should make everyone free, right? It should be free down to the level of the individual. And also, if you can't, the government relies on taxation to survive. There's two other ways that they use. One is they'll inflate the money supply, so they're basically stealing from your savings. But yeah, they're basically stealing from you to survive. So how do you logically justify a?
So here's another thing. This
is
part of the idealism.
This political issue in my book, by the way.
This is where idealism comes in and becomes dangerous, right? So let's say, for example, the United States, we all agree, we don't have to tax anybody anymore. We don't need a military anymore, right?
That would be the dumbest thing ever.
Hold on. If the rest of the world agreed with those values, sure. But the issue is places like China, they're not going to, places like Russia, they're not going to agree with that. So literally they see that happen and be like, oh, now's our chance to try to take over places and the US aren't going to stop us. So like there is something to be said about, okay, well, realistically, in an ideal situation, sure, this would be the case. But then also we have to go based off of what's currently realistic given what's going on in the world at that time.
Yeah, but how do you get over the fact that taxation is extortion? Like,
no, I agree with you. It should be minimized for sure.
Yeah,
I agree. I think
I've already addressed that. When you minimize taxation, you create an explosion in wealth, and then taxation increases because they can take more of a higher percentage. Because the more you get away from survival level, you don't need as much money to survive, right? So if you take 50% of someone who's at poverty level just paying for food, you kill them. But if you take 50% away from a person that makes 100K a year, like I think government naturally starts stealing more and more from society.
That's funny.
I think federal income tax should be abolished, absolutely. But I would still be pro state income tax being.
But then you say I'm pro national extortion, but I'm against state extortion.
You literally collapse the federal government completely.
Well, here's the thing, Alex. Do you know when the income tax began in the U.S.?
The federal income tax? Which one are we talking about?
Yeah,
I think in the 30s. I could be wrong though.
Yeah. So America was fine before that. In fact, they're doing great. They had the Industrial Revolution and everything.
Well, no. The quality.
Yeah, but how are we going to drone bomb people's weddings in Pakistan if we don't? I
love how this is like all three of us disagree with each other in some way.
I
And then
mean,
Avery's just
abolishing
like,
maybe make the federal income tax smaller by cutting out like excess. Sure, I'm cool with that. That makes sense. But like abolishing the
But how
federal
are we gonna
is like
make
Well, it should be
Nancy
gradual.
Pelosi have
to make
$200
sure
million
we
from
wind up
trading
living
if
in
we
a
don't
third world
have?
country 10 years from now?
taxation is inherently evil. I agree with Austin's assessment of that, right? But sometimes you have to say, do you need to have a necessary evil sometimes? So, for
I think
example,
it's less.
Do you pay for your phone plan, or do you have to get taxed for that?
Russia.
Do you pay for your internet plan, or do you have to get taxed for that? Do you pay for your house, or do you have to get taxed for that? Do you pay for your car, or do you have to get taxed for that?
Yeah,
Could
but
you
those are-
pay
those
for
are
a private rights
things
enforcement agency, or do you have to be violently like money taken from you by the government?
Yeah,
So,
the private right. Okay, first of all,
I see how paying for things I like works in 95% of my life, but the 5% of my life that's it's violently taken from me, I couldn't see how I could pay for that voluntarily. It's like just because you're retarded, you're too retarded to see that you could pay for something voluntarily doesn't mean that it should be taken from you.
Work? Like who would hang on? To the nukes? Wait, how would this work with the national military? Who would have the nukes? Please explain this to me.
Okay, we should probably change the subject.
So I'd like to answer this
You just don't have a
question.
good answer.
This is a good question. Who is the
I'll
best
send you.
infield
I'll send links
other
to the
than
group chat.
other than Austen and myself, of course? I would say Honest Signals has really good infield. I would say Ultimate Man Project has really good infield. Who else? Who else do you guys think has good infield?
Back in what was the British
Julian
company?
Blanc.
Yeah, they're canceled,
Julian.
but Street Attraction, Richard specifically,
Yeah.
he was good. He was very charismatic. I wonder what happened to him.
Richard? Oh yeah, he
Tay
was on my podcast.
Social seems to have pretty good infields.
Yeah, especially the nonverbal part of it.
Yeah, like I look at him and I think, yeah, this guy definitely.
This guy fucks.
Yeah, this guy
Yeah.
fucks. You know, He's
Like
not
that
just
guy,
some
his
LARPer
verbal game
online.
is not that great, honestly, but his nonverbal
He's got
game
good
is very
presence,
good,
though.
and you can
Yeah.
learn a lot from that because that's what most guys are lacking. It's just sexual energy, masculinity,
Yeah,
all that kind of
yeah.
stuff.
Mhm.
So I think he's really useful. I actually, there's a video called "Silent Pickup," the greatest pickup of all time, that we could look at, and I'm curious if you guys think it's real or if it's completely fake.
Is that by
I
RSD
gotta dip
Tyler?
pretty soon though.
Huh? You got to leave soon?
Yeah, how long
Is
is
it by RSD Tyler?
We can watch
Yeah,
like
I
5
wanna go to
minutes
the
of it
gym.
and determine.
I've seen it. It's good. It's real.
think it's
I've done
real?
silent.
You think
I've
that's
done
real?
silent. I've done silent opens that last like a minute, 2 minutes. So
I think you can do that, yes, but I think that video is completely fake.
Who's the video by?
I want to end. I
Travel
want to end the live stream so I can get back to arguing with Austin about things that matter.
yo, Alex, we can finally have a debate. We finally found something.
Yeah, that's
Wait,
true.
Alex, when are we having our abortion debate? Are we doing that
Oh,
tomorrow?
I was trying to text you about that. You didn't respond to me.
No, dude, my it was weird. My
I'm like
iMessage for
quadruple
whatever
texting you at
reason
this
just
point.
stopped. Yeah, my bad, dude. I didn't even see it. My iMessage for whatever reason just like stopped working, and I just got it working again today. So I didn't even see any of our. I didn't even know this podcast was happening until I saw it. Yeah, that's why I was late. But
It's all
yeah,
good.
we
can
can
do
do
it.
that.
Thursday and onwards, I'm free, so I have.
So you can't do it tomorrow.
No, that's what I was texting you about.
That's
Remember
fine,
that
that's fine.
debate organization introduced me to? They set up a debate for me tomorrow with some dude who hates me, so it should be interesting.
Crucible, it's nice.
Yeah.
Okay, so you got in contact. Who are you debating tomorrow?
Someone called Zen Shapiro. I guess like he's a fan of Ben Shapiro.
Oh, so he's a pro-life guy. So he's you're gonna have that.
But
Debate,
he
I
doesn't
guess,
want to
before
debate me about the pro-life Roe versus Wade
okay.
thing. He wants to debate me about how my content is fucking over young men. Apparently, he really hates me or something.
Well, I'm gonna guess.
So we should have it. We should have a debate
He's,
on Kevin's channel about this. He can arbitrate the debate.
Dude,
The question, the statements like this are exactly why I'd want to have this debate. It's because like everyone is blue pilled as fuck when it comes to this topic. It's not theft. If you live and benefit from society, you're essentially paying for the product you value. Okay,
Dude,
so if I break into your house, steal $100, go to Walmart, and then buy you like a $50 chair, you benefited from me robbing your wallet. So therefore, it's not theft. It's like that's how stupid these arguments are.
I would totally be down.
I would love to moderate a debate between you two because I think maybe you guys I told you this, but I'm streaming every single day in July. I'm doing like a 30-day challenge for it. So absolutely one of those days I can moderate a debate between you two because I'm basically right in between you two guys anyway, so I can remain impartial.
I'm totally.
I think that'll be fun. My audience,
debate
especially,
about
they
whether
like
we
that.
Because Alex is just a USSR communist cuck.
Well, if you think about it, I'm arguing for actually
Blue-pilled.
a more
Wear
conservative
a red shirt, bro. You fucking blue-pilled.
Well, it's kinda
You
hard to
simp
say.
for Putin, don't you?
Well, because if you
Putin's
think
your
about it,
daddy?
I'm arguing for more like pro-America position. I think so. If anything, it would be the other way.
I disagree.
Say
I'm
something
arguing for
bad about
pro-American
Putin right
position.
now.
Why,
Prove to you- to
why,
us you're an
why
actual
would the
American
government
and not a
stealing
spy.
half of the
He
wealth
has,
of
like,
society
really
be
bad
good for
hair off.
Americans? How would just squandering wealth of half of America be good for society?
How would disbanding the U.S. federal government be good for Putin? I wonder.
Wait. Let's come up with a debate topic, and then we'll do this. Maybe
Should
next
we
week.
disband the U.S. federal income tax? I think that's the main disagreement.
I don't think people are going to click on that. It's got to
Yeah,
be,
yeah. Well,
it's
we'll
gotta
find a
be
way to make
something
it
that's a
more
bit more
clickbaity.
like.
Yeah, you're right,
It
you're
doesn't matter. It
Yeah,
needs
yeah.
to be done, Kevin.
No, let's do it. Yeah, absolutely. I
Yeah,
think
I'm
it's a great
down.
idea.
I'm down.
Playing.
Ethan. Well, the one thing that fascinates me.
Hey,
about-
Alex, you didn't say anything bad about Putin, bro.
No, I
Were
said
you
I think he has
scared?
bad hair loss. That's not cool.
Bro, literally everything said about this has been such a bad argument. The government only has the money only has value because the government says it is. What do you think was used as money before we had a government issuing currencies, fiat currencies?
Fiat.
By the way,
Yeah.
every fiat currency in the world has collapsed except for the US dollar and the British pound. Two currencies haven't collapsed and they've lost 98% of their value so far. So good job,
they will
government, with the
collapse.
money.
More than you'd like to think.
Can I get back
I would have
to my
said
last
token
point about
women.
Putin?
It's like,
I've
whoa.
always wondered how Putin gets laid because I'm sure he's banging a bunch of hot Russian girls. But I think what he like, well, does he have like the KGB roll up on the chick's house and like summon her? Or, like, I wonder how he's like getting laid because I'm convinced that he bangs a bunch of chicks, but the question is how.
Well, if
Alex,
you're a
this is our
powerful
debate.
dictator, you can. It's kind of like saying like, oh well, how did what's his?
This
name?
is our resolution.
Genghis
Ban the
Khan
terror
get
option.
paid so much.
That's a good one.
Dude, it literally would though, because you'd have more money to flex on them haters.
Yeah, that'll be a good title.
Yeah, and you can like use lines like, "Hey, like you can be like, hey, what are you up to tonight? Oh, not much, just like running for my life from like the local warlord. Oh, cool, let's have a bottle of wine at my place. I have a private army." Like you can use like pickup lines like that. That'll be really effective.
Alex, just because you're not imaginative enough to see how different entrepreneurial enterprises will come to be doesn't mean that they won't. Could you be as foresight, thoughtful of like to create Apple computers? Probably not, right? But it exists. Like literally magic. We have magic in our phones. Could you foresee that? If you didn't foresee it, but it happened, so that's
I'm
like most
foreseeing
entrepreneurial
a
activities.
real positive future without the federal government. Real positive. I'm foreseeing it right now.
He's in the other room, so like we went out last night.
Who?
Charisma King.
Oh, nice.
Alex, can you do an impression of Putin? I don't know. It'd be hard. He has like a really. He barely speaks English, but he's like, "Hello, my name is Vladimir. I want to fuck you, and if you don't do it, it's okay. KGB kill whole family. I don't give a fuck. Okay." I don't know.
You can make that a video. Putin picks up girls.
Yeah, but his English is like way worse. Like he barely speaks English. It would be fun. I've always thought about like how it would be cool to like interview Putin, because I could do the interview in Russian. But I would be scared as fuck to go to Russia and like piss him off because he just like fucking detains you on like some bullshit charges and then you just never leave Russia again. So
Yo, are girls like stopping becoming strippers now that like OnlyFans is a thing? Like, why would you be a stripper if you could do OnlyFans?
Why is it not working? Here we go. This is your hero, Alex.
it's like frozen dish.
Somebody made a wide Putin comment. Okay. Before we get demonetized.
Yeah.
Or,
All right, guys, we got a dip.
Copyright struck or whatever.
Well, I'm definitely
Yeah,
down.
so-
I'm definitely down to do that debate.
Cool. All right. So first of all, the debate between you and me about the abortion issue, that's
Yeah.
going to
Who
be
cares about abortion,
later
dude?
this week.
Yeah, that's gonna be later in the week.
Well, apparently the whole country. But yeah, anyway. So and then between you two guys, maybe sometime the next week, huh?
Yeah, I'm
That'll
down.
be good.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't have to tie it back to game because my channel isn't all just game. I mean, that's a very little part of it. Like people show up for like politics type stuff all the time. So as long as it's something that sounds interesting, right? It can't just be like, I don't know. We'll come up with something.
Hayden saying nothing about politics got him like 50 subs.
Smart man.
Cool. Alrighty. Yeah. Happy.
So I'm gonna go live on my channel in about 20 minutes, guys. So go ahead and
Happy 4th. Hope you enjoyed the value bomb.
Yeah, hope you enjoyed the Valley Bomb. Well, you got some content, you got some debate shit, so it's a little bit of everything.
Politics bomb.
Yeah.
A lot of clippable moments from that
Yeah,
podcast.
definitely. Definitely.
Kevin Ray Wilder always bringing up black people.
That's true.
Do I?